The aftermath of narcissistic abuse. Hello and welcome. My name is Lisa, and in this video, I want to address something victims of narcissistic abuse go through after the relationship with the narcissist is over. When the relationship with the narcissist ends, no matter who ends it, the survivor is going to experience victim blaming. The narcissist is going to project onto the victim everything they themselves did. And this is actually a great way to find out what the narcissist did, because narcs always tell on themselves. Whatever they accuse their former partner or spouse of doing is something they did. Because accusations from a narcissist is the closest you'll ever get to a confession from them. But since the narcissist has been smearing the victim behind their back for months or even years prior to the relationship's demise, it's easy for the narc to convince their flying monkeys that the victim is actually the abuser. But it's not only the narcissist and their flying monkeys that participate in blaming the victim. Quite often, survivors of abuse experience victim blaming from friends, family members, and even counselors and therapists. Those who haven't experienced narcissistic abuse and who do not understand narcissism can actually further the abuse by simply not believing or questioning the victim. Even those who do believe may question the victim, asking things like, "Why did you stay so long? Why didn't you reach out for help? Why didn't you report them? Why didn't you speak up sooner?" Well-meaning friends and even therapists may ask questions like, "What attracted you to them in the first place? Why did you ignore the warning signs and the red flags? Why are you even talking about it now? It's over and in the past." Statements like, "What is it about you that attracted this kind of person into your life? What is it about you that caused you to accept this kind of treatment?" And these type of questions place the accountability upon the victim rather than the abuser. Even though these people may be on your side and they're supporting you and they're just trying to understand, these kinds of statements and questions are not helpful to the survivor. The survivor is put in the position of explaining their reasons for staying or their reasons for not leaving sooner. They're put in the position of justifying whatever it was that they did to survive in the hell they were living in with the narcissist. This survivor has already been over-explaining themselves to the narcissist for years. They've already had their feelings invalidated or dismissed by the narcissist. And now they're in a position of desperately trying to explain themselves to others. This survivor has endured years of trauma, and many don't even realize the extent of that trauma until after they're out of the relationship and away from the narcissist. This survivor, who has been blamed for nearly everything by the narcissist, often blames themselves once the relationship ends. They second-guess everything. After all, they've been conditioned through gaslighting to question themselves and to accept blame. And I'll be addressing self-blame after narcissistic abuse in a future video. So people who continue to place blame on the victim simply continue the cycle of abuse which was started by the narcissist. If you know someone recovering from narcissistic abuse and you want to help them and you want to support them, don't question them on why they stayed or ask any of the questions I previously mentioned, because what that person needs more than anything is to be heard, to have their feelings validated, to have their emotions validated. And above all, they need to be believed. Because it took strength for that person to leave the abusive relationship with the narcissist. And it took courage for them to speak up about the abuse that they endured. It is rare that someone will claim to be a victim if they weren't. Because being a victim of abuse is embarrassing to the survivor. They can feel humiliated. They can feel ashamed. So if you want to help, just be there for them. And unless they ask, they are not looking for solutions or advice. They just want understanding. If you are recovering from narcissistic abuse, please surround yourself only with those who love you and support you. Don't discuss the relationship with anyone who tells you things like, well, it takes two to make or break a relationship. Because with a narcissist, that is simply not true. They have the ability to destroy relationships all on their own. And you are not to blame for the way they chose to treat you. It was not your fault. And you couldn't have saved that relationship even if you laid yourself out like a doormat for them to wipe their feet on. Even if you acquiesced to their every demand. Even if you forgave them over and over for their behavior. No matter what, they would have still abused you. It is what they do. If you're in therapy or thinking of seeking therapy, it is extremely important that you find a therapist who understands narcissism and narcissistic abuse, because many therapists do not. And therefore the advice they give, which may work quite well for normal relationships that ended in a normal way, their advice may not be applicable to the dysfunctional narcissistic relationship. If you have friends or family members who don't understand or ask shaming questions, just don't discuss it with them. Only speak about your experiences to those who validate your experience. I've actually had a couple of clients ask me if I think about my own experience all the time. After all, I did create a YouTube platform on narcissism and narcissistic abuse, so that is a very valid question. And the answer to that is no, I really don't. I share my experiences here because I no longer fear repercussions from my ex-narc. We are states away. But more importantly, I did it to help others know that they are not alone, that someone understands, and to hopefully keep others from going through what I went through, and to help the ones who did. When I'm not creating this content, I'm living my life. I regularly engage in self-care. I go places and I do things with amazing people, many who have no idea of what I experienced, because I have no desire to dwell on it. And that's because that nasty, toxic part of my life is over. I spend my time looking for ways to improve and enhance my life, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. In fact, I spent many months focused solely on my own healing before creating this channel. I'm grateful for everything I have. I'm grateful I survived. I'm grateful to be the one who got away. I'm the only former spouse or partner of my ex-narc that wasn't discarded by him. I am the only one who discarded him. I am the only one who immediately went no contact. And I am the only one who never went back. And yes, I'm proud of it because it was difficult, because I still loved him when I left him. It was incredibly hard to ignore what I felt in my heart for him. And the reason I was able to do what I did is because I had and still have a huge support system. I was believed by so many people because so many people witnessed the abuse that I endured. And I realized how fortunate I was to have so much support. And now my goal is to offer support to others, especially others who don't have the support system that I've had. It's my way of paying it forward. My highest purpose throughout my life really has always been to help others, to affect the lives of other people in a positive way, to help other people improve their lives and find their purpose. And for me, that's the ultimate satisfaction. Therefore, it is my sincere hope that you find value in this content and that it not only validates you, but elevates you. Look, if you found this channel, you're a survivor. Whether you're still in the toxic relationship or healing from it, you have survived, and that is the hardest part. I'd like to see each and every one of you become a thriver and live your best life ever. Thank you all so much for watching, and may you be blessed and highly favored today and every day.